Now to Biden's border crisis. Horrifying video captures a suspected cartel member aiming his rifle at a Texas DPS drone. You can see that on your screen there. The man was kneeling on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande River. Texas DPS telling Fox News one of their gunboats was deployed to the scene in response to the threat. One trooper sent a warning shot to the suspect, who fled seconds later. Those gunboats are heavily armed with 4 M240 machine guns each.
Republican women facing the border crisis head on, with a delegation surveying the situation at one of the border hotspots, focusing specifically on the horrors and dangers facing migrant children. Texas Congresswoman Mayra Flores, part of that delegation, she took a moment to speak with me about the shocking things she has seen over the last several days. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here. Look, you are from a border district. You know the border very well. But with that said, is there anything that in your current visit is even surprising you?
To be honest with you, nothing surprises me anymore. We are sick and tired here in South Texas that the Biden administration has politicized this, because this shouldn't be political. Wanting safer borders shouldn't be a Democrat or Republican issue. This should be a red, blue, and white issue. We should all come together. I am sick and tired of seeing thousands of children coming into our country to be sold into child sex trafficking. If we want to end child sex trafficking, we need to secure our borders. I'm an immigrant. I want every child to come here to the United States and have the same experience that I had. If this administration cares about immigrants, they should improve the legal process so good people are able to come here to the United States and not have to go through literally hell to come here to the United States and having to pay thousands of dollars to criminal organizations. And we see that they just don't care about the immigrants. They don't care about what's best for the American people. And we've had enough here in South Texas.
You mentioned the trafficking. You are there as part of a coalition of women to investigate the human trafficking that's happening. What are the victims telling you, Congresswoman?
Well, we're talking about the rape trees that no one knows about outside South Texas. These rape trees are real. They're all over the southern border. And what they are is these criminal organizations take off the undergarments of their victims and hang them on the trees. And you see that throughout the entire southern border to show off what they are doing and that they're in full control. It's really sickening. And what I tell the people, when you see these type of trees, burn them down. And like I said, we are just so frustrated that the Biden administration just doesn't care. He hasn't come here to South Texas. Kamala Harris has not been here in South Texas to see what their policies are doing here in South Texas and how it's affecting the entire country. I'm a proud Border Patrol wife. Our Border Patrol agents don't deserve what they're going through, and because of this crisis, they're focused on processing women and children and families and not able to do their job and focus on terrorists and criminal organizations that are coming in through our country as well. Just like there is good people, there's also very bad people, and those are the people that really concern all of us, because at the end of the day, this is a national security issue that this administration just continues to ignore. And honestly, I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know how many children have to die in the southern border. I don't know how many thousands of immigrants have to die for them to wake up. You know, other people continue to tell me every single day their frustration and what is it going to take for them to care about us. And I tell them, coming this November, we need to send a strong message to this administration who we are and who they work for.
Do you think if Biden visited the border, his policy would be different if he saw the horrors that you're seeing?
I just don't know what else it's going to take. You know, I'm hoping that when he comes here and he sees the mess that he's created, that he'll do something. That is my last hope, but I just don't see that happening. He's never going to come down to South Texas. He's never going to fix the immigration process that we have. Why? Because the Democrat Party continues to use the immigration reform every election year, and they use it to get votes from Hispanics because they know that an immigration reform is important to us. And that is why I'm going to lead on the immigration reform, and we're going to put an end to this. I am sick and tired of the Biden administration and the Democrat Party using the Hispanic community to get votes. We've had enough, and we are no longer going to be taken for granted. We need representation in Washington, and I am that representation, and we're going to win in November.
Whether it's the communities that are impacted, whether it's the victims themselves, whether it's law enforcement like your husband, do they all feel when they're talking to you like the Biden administration prioritizes the cartel's interests for some strange reason over that of the victims and those individuals that I just mentioned?
Absolutely. The Biden administration has opened the southern border for the criminal organizations, knowing that these criminal organizations have the people in Mexico terrorized. I have family. We have family in Mexico, in Tamaulipas, that we can't visit as often. Why? Because we're afraid, and we don't want what we're afraid to come here to this country. And that's why for us, it's very personal. We understand what's happening. We don't need anyone telling us. It's happening behind our backyards, and it's really heartbreaking what's happening here in South Texas and what the Border Patrol agents are going through. They're our family. Our Border Patrol agents are our neighbors, they're our husbands, wives, they're our grandchildren, and we back the Green 100%, and we're going to be their voice. They're not able to speak. I encourage every Border Patrol wife, every Border Patrol spouse to speak up. We can no longer be silent.
If you had a one-sentence message for President Biden, what would it be?
To please come to South Texas, to please come and secure our borders and keep these innocent children safe. We have had enough of child sex trafficking in this country. Let's come together and put an end to this.
Congresswoman Mayra Flores, thank you for shedding a light on this tragedy that is unfolding before our eyes and getting worse every single day. We thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
We both said